Thin Within has been a part of my life for nearly 16 years, so it truly was a lifetime ago without Thin Within. When I went to Judy, I weighed 211 pounds. Through my high school days, had been very athletic, had skated and had my gold medal in ice dancing, so was definitely very, very active. And there was one summer when I went away and my mother had suggested that I might want to try and lose some weight because I was getting a little heavy. And at that point, I weighed 123 pounds and was skating probably about 4 to 6 hours a day. So at 5'7", I was nothing but really muscle. And that was when the real depth of my problem started. I found that I was trying to lose weight and my body didn't want to because there really wasn't anything to lose unless I went into a really unhealthy lifestyle, which would have been anorexia or bulimia, and thank God my body would never allow me to do that. But what I did do was, out of frustration in trying to lose weight, would eat more. I was frustrated because I couldn't diet, or I was trying to do this diet where I wasn't allowed to have ice cream or just something that a 16-year-old would want. And then I found that I would eat twice as much or 3 times as much. And then I'd feel guilty and say, well, okay, I'll start that diet again tomorrow. And that's when I got on the really big diet yo-yo and really did that for such a large period of my life. My father had tried to pay me to lose weight. At times I've been offered, I think, either $500 or $1,000 if I would just lose 20 pounds. And for some reason, the money wasn't enough for me to do it. And again, it was all this other stuff that was inside that I was dealing with. And when I moved to California, and that was a good thing for me because it allowed me to have my independence. But I think the biggest thing was never really having unconditional acceptance or unconditional love for who I was. Perhaps for who I was on the inside, but the fact that the package didn't look right was really important within my family, and the acceptance of that was important. So I never really fit into that acceptable mold. There was a lot of negative name-calling, which was very, very tender. It was really very personally demeaning. And when my parents came to visit, it was interesting, I had gone on yet another diet, knowing they were coming out, and was actually making progress. And then 3 weeks before they arrived, I was doing the exact same thing, really wasn't eating a whole lot more, but the whole issue of stress and probably some additional eating, I put on probably about 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And the program that I was going through said, what's going on with you? And other than my parents coming to visit, that was about it. And when I picked up my parents at the airport, on the way home from the airport, my mother had told me that she wished that I had notified them that I hadn't lost any more weight, because otherwise they could have delayed their vacation until I had, which was not really what I wanted to hear. And my father was directed to, on our vacation, to only take pictures of me from the waist up, so that when they were showing the family photos of the vacation, no one would see how big I had gotten. My father didn't listen and took some pictures, interestingly enough, at the Crystal Cathedral. We were standing outside Reverend Schuller's church, and after my parents left, the next week I got a letter in the mail with pictures, and it was wanting to make certain that I knew how fat I was and how, while I may be pretty, it just wasn't the right package, and that I really should do something about it. And I guess that's probably the text I'm using and the verbiage I'm using is probably a lot softer than the way it was really delivered.